Good morning, traders and investors. My name is Shen Mwangangi, one of the best market analysts here at HFM. So, coming on today, yesterday we saw that the JOLTS job openings gave out data that the amount of jobs being received from by people came out better than expected at plus 0.291 million jobs. So that was some good report for the US economy. And what we saw on the US index was a slight bullish movement, jumping, even skipping our resistance zone and jumping all the way to 99.31 because of that report. Also, coming on this week, we have the NFP report coming out on Friday. For 2 days, we saw better than expected reading, but it wasn't above the 21 million deviation. That's why we never saw some slight bullish movement during the last NFP. During the last NFP news, that was the previous month and the previous month after the previous month. So, coming on this week, are we going to expect a 3-time row better than expected report, or are we seeing some form of economic decline in the US? We'll know about it on Friday. And for those who will be joining us for the NFP event, we'll be at Nairobi Garage from 2 p.m. all the way to 5 p.m. Hopefully, I'll see you there. Now, coming on to, let's talk about the US 100. The US 100, during tariff times, we saw it move slightly down. We saw it move massively down. And after the pause, the 90-day pause from Trump, we saw it now gain back strength. This strength was not only influenced by the pause that came from the tariffs, but also from Nvidia earnings. We all understand that Nvidia is a tech company. And it being a tech company, it's among the tech companies that is influencing the AI movement at the moment. And because of that, Nvidia earnings has been strong. And you can see the big bullish movement on the daily chart just by Nvidia Corporation. So, one of the reasons why we still believe that the tech industry will still continue to boom is because of the AI movement, and you can see AI has been some form of people are inclining more to AI. We see computers now using AI, laptops using AI, even corporations at the moment are using AI. So we'll see a large shift in AI, and when you see something like that as an investor, you will tend to focus more on the tech industry. And what I said was this: the uprising from the US 100 was not only influenced by the tariffs, but also by the AI movement, and you have seen that also on Nvidia moving up. Coming on to gold, we're back in that consolidation range, but we saw it break our resistance zone at the 3343.27, and we are back to test it. Testing it, then having a move higher at the 3430.55 will be a good move, because that's what I can see right now. And remember, we trade what we see. So this move will be a good move for me. Else, if you have any news influencing the gold to move down, I will be cautious, because at the moment we are expecting China and the US to continue to have talks this week. Also, one of the reasons why I will still be bullish on gold is because at the moment we are seeing many investors and traders being cautious about the US economy. The US economy has a rising debt of 36.7 trillion, not billion, not million, trillion, and it's in dollars. So when you see something like that, investors and traders are really cautious in investing in the US economy. And we saw that when the auction bill, the bond auction, the treasury auction, failed to meet its demand, and because of that, the interest rates on the treasuries were raised. And when the interest rate on treasuries are raised, It's so that as to influence traders and investors to invest in treasury so that they can get more returns because the interest rates are higher. But still, after raising the interest rates, we saw investors and traders failing to meet the demand in the treasuries. And because of that, it was an auction fail, and it influenced also the dollar to move down. The same happened in the Japanese economy, but we'll talk about it next time. So because of that, we will see traders and investors moving to gold, because gold and Bitcoin will be seen as a safe haven. Another thing is we are seeing a de-dollarization on the dollar. So the dollar is losing its value, and if I'm a trader and if I am an investor, I won't want to invest in something that is losing value. I want to invest in something that is appreciating. So one of the reasons why I'm still bullish on gold is because of that reason of de-dollarization, and also investors and traders looking at Bitcoin and gold as a safe haven. Moving on to the US 500, we see we're still back in that consolidation range, and I will be looking for a breakout to the top side or to the bottom side depending on confirmation of volume and a candle momentum past the 5979.04 or the 5895.69. But at the moment, the US 500 looks bullish, but we're in some sort of range as we expect major decisions to happen at the NFP, which will set the pace for our month. Talked about US 100. Coming on to the Euro USD, we see we broke. We are reacting from our resistance zone at the 1.14247. The reason why we had that down movement was because of yesterday we had that JOLTS job opening, which came out better than expected, which influenced the dollar to move up. And if the dollar is moving up, since Euro USD here is a quote currency, the euro will move down because it's a tug of war. The same on the JPP USD, we saw that slight move down because of the JOLTS job opening. And we're seeing most of the markets in a form of consolidation. Why? We're expecting the NFP, which will set the pace for this coming month. Same with the USD/JPY. We are at a resistance zone at the 144.120. It looks like a range still, but moving on to a lower time frame, if I'm supposed to react at this resistance zone, this means that I will be looking for a slightly bearish movement to move down from reacting at this resistance zone. But because of also the JOLTS opening, which came out better than expected, and the USD here is the base currency, I will be very cautious to look for also a volume confirmation with a breakout on the top side, because as we can see, because of yesterday's data, the USD looks slightly stronger. On the Audi USD, we've talked about this for more than 2 weeks now. We're still in this range, and this range for traders and investors, what you can do is you move to a lower time frame and play bounce offs from this resistance and this support. So a bounce off from these areas will be a good move. Else, if you get a breakout, you can decide to move with that breakout depending on which side we broke out with volume as a confirmation. So with that said, we have analyzed and we have seen the reasons why we're having those moves in different market assets, including the dollar index, the tech industry, the US 100, and the gold, and not forget the currency pairs. So with that said, remember this is educational advice. Make sure that you go and do your due diligence and analyze the markets, and don't forget to use proper risk management. Again, with that said, my name is Shen Mwangangi, one of the best market analysts here at HFM. Make sure that you go to our YouTube page, HFM Kenya. Make sure that you hit the like, subscribe, and share button, and don't forget to comment. This will help us improve our algorithm so that we can create better videos for you as a trader and investor. Goodbye, and see you tomorrow.